Welcome to Bedford County Sports Talk Live, hosted by David Thomas, Bill Anderson, and Kenny Parker. Brought to you by First Bank of Shelbyville. And Kincaid Service Company. Let's talk some sports. Here are your hosts, David Thomas, Bill Anderson, and Kenny Parker.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this edition of Bedford County Sports Talk Live. It's been a day or two since we've been here, and we're glad to be back. I'm David Thomas. This is Bill Anderson, Kenny Parker, and today we have a special guest, celebrity around the community, Jason Boyette. Jason, it's good to have
He's
you.
also known as the first man of Shelbyville.
The first man of Shelbyville.
All right.
Becoming a radio guy, too. We get to get him to talk about his radio. I heard him on the radio last night.
You got more of a radio face than a TV face.
I understand.
Yeah. I appreciate you guys letting me come on. It should be fun.
Yeah, I hope you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the reason we face each other, not the camera. But guys, we want to thank our sponsors, Kincaid
Service
Company
and First Bank here in Shelbyville. Before we get talking some local sports, let's hear a word from our sponsor. We'll be right back.
I'll tell you what.
Kincaid Service Company is a locally owned family business that has proudly served the Middle Tennessee area since 1934. We have a wide selection of furniture, appliances, electronics, and mattresses for every budget and design taste. We carry the brands that you know and trust, so you're sure to find exactly what you're looking for. Need financing? We have you covered. With our service department, you can rest assured that we will take care of you after the purchase. Visit our Shelbyville store at 400 Madison Street.
All right, guys. Again, we want to thank our sponsors, Kincaid
Service
Company
and First Bank here in Shelbyville.
Hey, real quick, I got a question for Jason Boyette. You ready? Do you like to haul stuff off, Jason? If your appliance goes bad at your house, do you like hauling it off?
I don't like to haul it off. I like somebody else to do it for me.
Absolutely. Those guys at Kincaid Service Company will take care of you. Washing machine, whatever it is, they'll haul the old one off, put the new one in.
Hey, that thing will just vanish.
Yep.
It'll just disappear, and you will never see it again.
No going to the dump, looking for it to take it, breaking your back.
I bet his wife wants to know if they'll haul her husband off.
They might. If they bring her a new one, I bet Kincaids could do that, too.
I don't think they carry those products. But the thing about Kincaid, they've been in business for so many years, over 100 years, and that service being their middle name, that hauling off, that's just part of it. And if you have a problem with your product that you get from them, whatever it is,
call them.
They're there.
Call them.
They'll take care of it.
And they know how to work on things. They're not just going to say, hey, go buy a new one. If I can fix it, they're going to fix it. Or Mark will be honest with you.
Hey, man, I can't do it.
May cost you more to fix it than a new one.
That's right. Yep. And also First Bank. They've been sponsoring not only Shelbyville Now and Bedford County sports, but just all sports throughout the county.
High school game
everywhere you look
high
up.
High school game balls for me for years.
They have
baseball,
banners hanging
softball,
everywhere.
Any school you're talking about, First Bank's always there.
Yeah, well, we want to thank them. Well, guys, it's been a minute since we've sat down. A lot's happened. We've got our county sports team going in full force now, going into district play. Bill, I know you've got some scores for us. Why don't you give us a rundown on where we are?
Let's start with Shelbyville this week. Coffee County girls, 75-45 over our girls. But our boys had a big ups. It's been a minute since we beat Coffee County in boys basketball.
Well, I'll tell you, the Shelbyville girls losing to Coffee County, everybody Coffee County's played this year's lost to them because they're undefeated.
They sure are. And the Shelbyville boys, though, 55-48 in overtime. It's been several years since we beat Coffee County in boys basketball.
Good.
So that was a good win for us.
So you got to look at the boys. You got to look at the boys' situation right now. You put them right where they are today versus where they were last year versus where they were the year before. You're starting to see some progress, and you're starting to see some continuity maybe in the team and Coach Young getting his program established here.
So it's good to see. All the players that Coach Young's played early, what I always call preseason before district.
Yeah,
he's now settling in. Hopefully he's figuring out who he can count on and when he can count on them.
Still gonna have some lumps.
Still
gonna
Still
have some
growing.
lumps.
So
That's
once
right.
you
Now,
go
probably
ahead.
your best team in boys, I'm going to do the boys first, is Warren County in this district this year. They beat us 65-48, and Jason called the game. Actually, the boys played a lot better the second half, didn't they?
We outscored them in the second half. First half, we get down by 23. We're not playing well, and like you said, Warren County was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever coach said at the half, he needs to say it again because they come out second half a different team. They played hard, and I mean they battled. I think they had 14 at one point,
Right.
so they battled back.
Big win for the Shelbyville girls last night. It was the rematch with Kyle Turnham.
Yep.
Oh, is he
He's
at
at
Warren?
Warren
Yeah.
County.
Okay.
And he was 2-0 in the district. And the Shelbyville girls won last night, 50-43 over Warren County. So
Great.
That's a big win for the girls.
That's a big win for the
Big
girls.
win for the girls.
the girls are now 9-6 this year.
Okay.
Okay.
Above 500. The boys are 7-12, but 4 of them losses came in Alabama and Hoover, Alabama, where they were playing the best teams in the country.
Yeah,
That's
you
what
take that
gotta
away.
do.
Yeah.
Take
That's
that
what you
away,
gotta
and they're
do.
7-8.
Right.
What you
So-
got to do?
Boys are definitely better than they were last
They
year.
were.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
They won their first 4 games this
Yeah,
year, and then
they
they went through a stretch where it was really tough.
Yeah.
But they were going up to Blackman and playing up there, and they
Yeah,
went to
yeah.
Hoover, Alabama. And I mean,
We've said it. If you don't play better, you don't get better.
that's right.
You know, I heard a guy on the radio this morning said he's got one of the best wrestling programs in the state, and he said he goes to chase losses because he said you got to chase losses. You learn more from a loss than you do from a win. You got to have them, but you got to have some wins too. But he knows what he's doing. He's getting it. He's building his program.
Cascade girls, Moore County beat them 50-29 earlier in the week. Cascade boys 78-31 over Moore County. Moore County's got a really good girls team, as we all know,
Yeah,
and they struggle in boys.
their
I think they've only won a
girls were
couple
running up
games.
the state last year and probably favored to win the state this
Had
year.
about everybody coming back off that
And
team.
then got a
transfer.
got a really good transfer.
Forest and Cascade last night. Cascade girls 58, Forest 42. Cascade boys won 57-34. The Cascade boys are 10-7. The girls are 7-8. And a note, those Cascade girls, that's a lot better than last year.
That is, and I'll say this: I was at the game last night. Keegan Young had a really good game. She had 25 points, 4 assists, 6 steals, 13 and 17 from the foul line. 13 and 17.
Well, you got to hit those.
You got to
Yeah,
get
She's
those.
doing it. So.
Stephanie Ray had 10 points. Again, like you said, they're 7-8. Much better. And then this week, you'll talk about the team. They go to the team you're about to talk about next. That's a big county rival.
We can't say that word now. Coach Davis get upset with us.
Well, Coach
Which
Davis
one?
ain't
Battle.
here today.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I
Yeah,
said
no
rival.
battle. No
It's a
battle.
rival. It's a battle.
Not
It
the
is a battle,
battle.
but it's not the battle of blank.
right.
No, the
Coach
battle.
Davis doesn't like that.
No,
That's
he
all
doesn't like it. Hey, I want to go back to this young lady that shot. She shot 17 free throws. That tells you a lot about her and her position. She's obviously your point guard, okay, and she's penetrating obviously to draw those fouls.
Mm-hmm.
So to get up there and have one player shoot 17 free throws, that's pretty big, and that's something special.
And
right
she
there.
shot 59% from the floor.
Okay,
I mean,
so she put on a good show.
she's just a junior, so she'll be back again next year.
All right, Bill, what else
All
you
right.
got?
Cannon County earlier in the week, 60. Community girls 40. Cannon County boys and girls both at Cannon County are really good this year.
Cannon County.
82-52. Cannon County's a real deal.
They're the top 2 teams in the district right now.
They're tough.
Yeah, they're tough.
Big Community later in the week played Murfreesboro Central Magnet. The girls beat them 54-46, and Coach Davis beat Murfreesboro Central Magnet 58-44. Now tonight they've got a game.
They're going to
They're
York.
going to York.
They're going in. They're leaving.
They better
They're
leave
about
now.
ready. They're about ready to get on the bus right now.
It's going to be cold too.
Is that in Jamestown?
That's in
It's
Jamestown.
in Jamestown.
Mhm.
That's going to be a
It's a
haul
good
right there.
2.5-hour drive.
It's a 2, and they're stopping at Gainsborough, Jackson County for a shoot around. I'm sure they'll have a meal, but it's a good team building kind of exercise.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Right. And then we get to Tuesday night where it will be Cascade Community at Community, I believe.
At Cascade
The battle
Community
of-
at Community.
The battle of that.
Yeah.
Coach Davis doing that for you, my man.
It's North Bedford County battle. Battle of North Bedford
North
County.
Bedford County. All right, he might go for that.
I doubt it.
All right.
Shelbyville travels to Lincoln County, which is a big district game
Yes.
this week.
Mhm.
And Lincoln County, of course, that's always a tough one. That's a game I think the Shelbyville boys need to find a way to win.
I do too. The next 4, I think, are games if they play really, really well, they have a chance in.
Now, my question to you all is, David, I said this to you yesterday, of course, off the air. You might know what the Columbia boys' record is this year.
Yeah. I looked last night.
They're 1-15.
Mm-hmm.
Columbia?
Boys
And I think
have
they were
won
picked
one
to
and
be
lost
first or second
15.
in
What's happening?
Something's going on over there, guys. Every year, forever, Columbia has better athletes than everybody in this region does. Now, I don't know what's going on there, but they're 1-15, and that
Wow.
shocked me.
Wow.
Well, I've got my theory, and you've got yours, Bill. We've talked about it.
Well, we sort of saw it.
You sort of saw it in football.
Football.
Yeah, you
They
did.
started off the first 3 or 4. They're not up here. They played
they ain't
us.
started off at all this year.
No, they ain't
No.
got out of the gate.
And started it.
Uh-uh.
Now, the word has been that a lot of the athletes are heading over to that new Battle Creek school, is what I have heard. But, I mean, for you to be 1-15
Well,
in
I'll tell you
Columbia, that's
something.
unheard of.
The athletes on that field when they came up here and played us in football, they were great athletes.
Yeah, they were.
They were loaded.
They were as good a team as we saw in the
I know
regular
it.
season,
And then-
period.
No, they were
It's-
good athletes as you
Yes.
saw. They
Yeah.
weren't a team.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the
They
issue.
were, and then when
Yeah.
you watch later in the season, they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, well, worse than
Well, they still had a little
Yeah.
fight in them there. They played Centennial
They
pretty
did.
tough.
They played them close. Yeah.
So you got to look at that, and you just got to question. There's just there's no chemistry
Right.
with the team, and that comes from a lot of places outside of the group of kids. They've got to gel, but they've got to have a coach that's going to help them gel. They've got to have support around them to help them get that chemistry, and it's just not there. So I just wonder, Columbia has always been tough for Shelbyville to handle in any sport because of the athletic pool they have there. But
Now, I will be the coach at Columbia that would be 1-15 boys basketball because I don't think it's going to be around very long. Because that's one thing about Columbia. It's a basketball school. Always has been.
Yeah.
Always
Except
has
for
been.
girls.
Right. And they've had some good girls
And they
teams
had
over
some
the years.
good ones, yeah.
All right, Webb played Providence Christian. I'm telling y'all right now, Providence Christian in boys and girls may be one of the best teams in the state of Tennessee.
Let me tell you, Providence and Middle Tennessee Christian in Murfreesboro are both coming on.
Yep.
I went by Middle Tennessee Christian the other day, man, and they are expanding that place. That in Rutherford County, there are going to be a lot of kids start going to Providence and Middle Tennessee Christian.
Providence girls beat Webb 64-49. Providence Christian boys beat the Webb boys 61-53. And I was told there was Division I coaches there quite often at that game with Providence and Webb.
wow.
Now, where is Providence? Is that
It's if you know where the comm center is in Murfreesboro,
yeah.
go on down that road. It's
Okay,
right
so
in
it's
it's
in-
right
it's-
in that area where the
Murfreesboro.
Murfreesboro Comm Center is. Or it may be the red. It's in that area. Them and Middle Tennessee Christian, as a crow flies, are
Right,
less than
right.
a mile and a half
Yeah.
from each other.
Wow.
I believe there might be up to 3 D1 players at Providence Christian's boys. That's what
Wow.
I was told.
That's
The
impressive.
middle
Yeah.
coaches and all them are over there.
You're gonna hear about their football
Yes,
also and their baseball.
yeah, it's coming.
Mhm.
Last night, University School of Nashville played Webb, and I couldn't find the girls' score, but the boys beat them 60-49. So the Webb boys are 11-6. The girls are 9-6, depending on how that game came out last night.
All right. Well, the kids are in action. Let's get out and support them.
Yep.
Everybody needs to pack the gyms. We're going down the stretch now. Before you know it, we'll be in tournaments. We're 4 weeks away.
Speaking of packing the gym, today would be a great day to head to Cascade because Cascade is hosting the dual wrestling. They have all the teams come in. The top 2 teams move on to the region. So Cascade's hosting wrestling today. It'll be Cascade Community, Moore County, Franklin County, and Tullahoma. So they're all at Cascade in a big competition. I heard it on right. Everybody's doing that today.
Right.
Today is what they call district duels, and there'd be a good time to go out. Local Cascade, Unionville, Moore County,
Yeah.
Tullahoma, Franklin County, all right here together in the same district. Cascade's got a young man by the name of Baden Moore. He wrestles at 144. He's 29-0, ranked second in the state. And then while we were out, I go to church with the head wrestling coach. They got their 100th dual win this year as a program. So that's big. A young up and coming to already have exceeded the 100 mark is just pretty impressive.
Yeah. I don't know what Central's doing wrestling wise. I'm sure they're taking part in another event.
I know
similar to
I know
that, so.
Chevrolet is going strong with girls and boys
Right.
this year because one of the girls, I was telling you guys off the air, one of the girls that wrestles for them, it's just her second year to wrestle. Her grandmother drives a bus for me, and I don't think she's lost, but maybe once or twice this year. So I know they've got some pretty good, and they had a good program going last year, and I'm sure it's the same way this year. Just hadn't been able to communicate with a coach. If anybody knows, have them send the stuff out to us.
Well, Robbie Davis just said they're getting on the bus now.
I told you,
Headed,
it's about time to
and
load.
he said, just curious if we're a little bit nervous about the Tennessee Vandy game, that the line is 5.5, and it's a tough place to play. Yeah, it is. Are you worried about it? I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
We're going to get to college basketball
All
in a minute.
Do they? I didn't know they both played basketball.
All right, Kenny. Be careful now. All right. Well, let's shift gears now and go into some college. But before we do, we want to hear from our sponsors one more time. We'll be right back and talk some college sports.
Kincaid Service Company is a locally owned family business that has proudly served the Middle Tennessee area since 1934. We have a wide selection of furniture, appliances, electronics, and mattresses for every budget and design taste. We carry the brands that you know and trust, so you're sure to find exactly what you're looking for. Need financing? We have you covered. With our service department, you can rest assured that we will take care of you after the purchase. Visit our Shelbyville store at 400 Madison Street.
All righty, welcome back to Bedford County Sports Talk Live. Now we're going to talk some college sports, and I know, Bill, you've got some matchups here for basketball.
Right up the road, we're going to talk about MTSU women for a minute. Today they go up to Western Kentucky, big rivalry game. Rick's 12-5. He's got it rolling again like always. And I mentioned, but the boys play today as well. But they're at home to Western Kentucky, which that's crazy to me.
That's just the way they do that. In that, they're not Sun Belt or
Conference USA.
That's the way they do.
But let me say this about the MTSU boys. They're 12-5 as well. And I know Jason,
athletic.
We watched them play Tennessee, and I don't know who 24 is.
Yeah.
But there is some athletes on this MTSU boys team that if somehow they make a run late and get into the tournament, I haven't seen them this good since Kermit Davis was there that year. They made the run the NCAA.
I think they're the most athletic team that Tennessee's played. They're athletic.
Right. I was shocked.
Wow. They messed up with them.
How's their size?
They're big.
They're big
and fast.
But 24 could play in the SEC anywhere. He was the best player on the court against Tennessee in the first half.
Yeah. That'll be interesting. You don't know his name?
I can't remember his name.
We'll
He's number 24 for MTSU, and he is good.
Yeah.
And there was several good players. I was impressed at how much better they had gotten. Because, since Kermit Davis left, MTSU basketball has been way down. Mm-hmm. And now I guess it just took him some time to get it rolling. But
he had 90 miles of hate.
It's a big MTSU fans out there. It's a big game.
It's a big game. Both of them.
Yes.
Yeah. Both of them.
100 miles of hate's real. It's a real thing.
It's a real thing. All right.
Let's talk.
You know what's in between that 100-mile hate? Natural traffic.
You got that right.
Yep.
We'll talk Vols a minute. They had the bad loss a week or two ago to Florida. It was terrible. Big win over Georgia, 74-56. Georgia's really good.
Yeah.
And today, they get Jason Boyett's team, the Vanderbilt Commodores, up here in Nashville. Jason, what do you think about this one?
I'm a Tennessee fan, as you know.
I do.
Tennessee's going to have the better team, but it is hard to win at Vanderbilt. I mean, that gym's different. You got the benches on the corners instead of where they are everywhere else.
Floor's elevated.
Yeah, the floor's elevated. The fans are right there on top of you. And it's a hard place to play.
Can we shoot the basketball? Because if we shoot it, we're going to win a game.
Right.
Chaz Lanier has gone 10 points, 10 points, 5 points, and he's supposedly your best scorer. And if he's in a slump,
we go through stretches where it's hard to score.
But
the good thing about defense always travels.
Always.
Defense
always
travels.
It doesn't matter what sport you play.
And that's Barnes' number one thing is defense.
If you're physical and you play good defense, you always have a chance.
But the guy who's been carrying them is the smallest guy on the team, and it's Ziegler, the point guard.
Yeah.
He has been he's the glue that keeps this team together. From the assists that he makes to the defense he plays, and occasionally he'll hit a big three for you.
It's a fun team to watch.
So what are you thinking today?
The line's 5.5. I like Tennessee because if we shoot it pretty good, And
Is it
Tennessee's
because you
defense.
like Tennessee or you don't like Vanderbilt?
Vanderbilt's much, much, much improved.
They are playing.
And we'll talk about that too, because the
Right.
girls play, and I'll mention that tomorrow. The Lady Vols are at Vandy, and again, Vandy's girls. But what about the job the Tennessee
I
ladies
know it.
coach is doing?
Phenomenal.
She's got to be like coach of the year. You've gone from
Yeah.
just changing a coach to now you're 15-3.
NIL help.
I don't know how much that helped, but I just think this girl knows what she's
I do
doing.
too. She plays a fun style. The kids
Yes,
like her.
they lead the country, close
Yeah.
to leading the country in scoring. But
Yeah.
it's phenomenal the job that she's done. And Vanderbilt's girls coach is 14-4 this year. The Vandy men are 14-4. A tremendous turnaround at Vanderbilt.
Exactly.
But that's the thing about the SEC. This week you saw Ole Miss go to Alabama and pound them.
Yeah.
74-64. Missouri goes on the road, beats Florida 83-82. They were up 20 in this game, and the referees really started fouling Missouri's players out. But this is going to Florida and winning. So in this conference, the bottom can beat the top anytime.
Mm-hmm.
And the big thing that I get with what you said with Ole Miss and Alabama, and who'd you say that was?
Missouri and Florida.
They both went on the road and won.
The road.
Alabama and Florida were both at home, and when you go on the road and win,
It's going to be hard to win on the road.
It's always
Now,
hard to win on
the
the
big
road.
story for me in the Southeastern Conference this far is John Calipari, Kentucky and Arkansas. Calipari leaves, goes to Arkansas. They're struggling. They're 0-4. Kentucky is 14-3 and 3-1 and a top 7-8 team in the country. Anybody shocked at that?
Coaches don't play; players do.
Phenomenal job, because Calipari rated Kentucky on his way out the door. He took every player he wanted to Arkansas, gave a big NIL deal to a dude from
There you
Tennessee,
go.
got him.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
But
Kentucky's
this
doing
guy,
it too.
Kentucky, well, I don't know where
There
he
you
went and
go.
got his players at. I'm
Yeah.
not sure. But
He-
he's
he-
impressive
he
coach.
knew where to get them.
Yeah, he got them.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, and we've talked about this with football. We might as well talk about it with basketball.
And you're going to talk about it in baseball and softball.
I know it. This NIL, the transfer portal.
Mhm.
I know I heard you talking about it before we came on.
Yeah.
What is it? Where does this go? What's
See,
the NCAA?
here's
It's just a wild west all of a sudden.
For me, the difference between NIL and football and basketball, in football, you got to have 7 or 8. In basketball, you don't have to have 2 or 3.
Yeah, that's right. It doesn't take near as much.
Mm-mm.
So the transfer portal changes every team every year.
I mean, you look at how good Tennessee was last year, and this year, their men, a lot of that's transfer portal.
Oh, yeah, it was last year. It was this year. They got 3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Rick
so
Barnes has done as good a job
Yeah.
at transfer portal as anybody in the country.
Yes.
oh yeah,
Now, somebody on his
And-
staff
and-
knows how to identify that.
And
Yeah.
if you'll notice, there's a lot of older coaches
Yeah.
getting out because they can't build a team.
the
They
old
can't
fashioned
build-
way.
The old fashioned way. They can't build a team, and it's just like me. I can't work a computer, but these younger kids can.
Yeah.
So the younger people are coming in because they know how to deal with it, and it's like me. I better get off the horse because it's time to make a change.
It's kind of odd
And
that
it-
Barnes,
it ain't
being an
going
older
back.
coach, is good at that, though.
Mhm.
You know,
Well,
he's probably got some people
he
behind
does.
him.
But we're not NIL like Calipari does. We're going and getting a guy, Dalton Connett from Northern Colorado, under the radar. It's Chaz Lanier, Northern Florida.
Yeah.
The other kid from Hofstra. I mean, who's looking at players like that? But they see
Belichick.
Belichick from
Yeah.
Charlotte.
Yeah.
Okay, so how long does the NCAA allow this to continue?
I think
the
they're
fashion.
trying to work on some stuff right now.
I think it destroys college athletics
And
if it
it's-
continues at this
Next
pace.
year it's really going to get, because the SEC is dispersing a whole lot of NIL kind of money.
And then it's going to be run by the school, not by a spire or a company. That's going to be the difference on how that
I wish
works.
they'd have a salary cap like the NFL.
And I think that's coming.
I think that's
Have a
coming
salary
too.
I think
cap.
that's coming.
You get
But,
one
but
transfer.
you need a contract.
You get to move one
if I'm
time.
going to pay you an NIL,
Well,
then
see,
it's a
that
contract.
was in
Yeah.
the deal. You got one
Yeah.
move, but with this, some kids has played at 4 or
Yeah.
5 different
Yeah.
schools.
And some of them wanting to play 5, 6, 7 years too,
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
they're going to make more money in college, and they're not going to.
And some of them ain't going
A
to make
big
it
deal,
in
yeah.
the
But I think the
thing.
intent of the transfer rule was during COVID, but it was also the intent originally. It's gotten out of hand. Was if Kenny Parker's the coach and he recruits me and he leaves, I was to have a chance to go somewhere else. And then it went from that
Right.
to this.
But then
And I'm
then
not
it
getting
went,
the playing time. I want to go somewhere else.
Well,
Nah, it became
that-
Jason
yeah.
Boyd got on me a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm leaving.
But that's the transfer. But the NIL is what the transfer portal is now.
Yes.
The NIL is where I'm giving David all this money, and now he transfers into my. The NIL is really kicking in the transfer portal, and that's where that money's gotten out of hand.
Coach D, Robbie Davis brings up a point here. He says, what about the billionaire wanting to buy an athletic department? That's the way we're going. Corporate-owned athletic departments and academics will be separate. I think we're already there.
Mm-hmm.
What's the name of your field?
Pilot. It's stamped on the University of Tennessee's field. We know who owns that team. Okay? And that's what he's talking about here. What about that? I mean,
well, I
think what you're saying, put a cap somewhere.
We've said all along here several times that this is now becoming minor league. This is now becoming like a minor league professional team.
I even see it kind of competing a little bit with pro sports. With, I mean, just like this week, I don't know if y'all saw this. The kid from Colorado, what's his name, Travis Hunter. He said, "Wait a minute. Somebody's getting $10 million, $12 million. I'm gonna back up. I might stay another year."
I saw that.
You know, and I think he was joking around about it.
Right.
But he brings up a point as a thought process. It popped in his head.
Hey, he was already making that kind of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's already
Probably
making that kind of money.
I don't know what his NIL deal is, but
it was in there.
Something, I don't know who it was that got a deal, but it caused attention. So wait, I might just want to go back.
It was 7. It was 7 digits. It was pretty close to 8 digits.
Yeah.
Think about the University of Texas football team. Their quarterback's NIL, yours, whatever his name is, was $3.5 million. The backup quarterback, Manning's, was over $6 million.
But let me tell you that you talk about yours. The first person this NIL stuff started with was Ewers. Ewers got $1 million when he was in high school to sign with Ohio State. And he left high school as a junior, went to Ohio State, making $1 million. He was the very first one that we heard about that. Then he transfers from Ohio State back to Texas, where he's from. Sure, they upped that money. He saw, but he's one that he is one of the first that capitalized on this money and got it while he was still in high school.
Right, let me ask y'all this question. This is my thought. What is motivating these rich folks, the billionaires, as he brings out, to do this? What's in it for them? Is it just because they're alumni and they want to see their? Is that it?
It's always been there on a different scale.
Yeah, it's always been there. It's always been there.
Of course,
these alumni, you walk down, hold your football helmet the right way, and walk through there, and the next thing you know, you get back. There's all this green paper in it. It's always been.
Remember
there.
Coach Pruitt at Tennessee handing out the McDonald's bags?
Well, yeah, but it only had a couple $100 in it, you know. And he goes,
you don't know
he gets
that.
in
I don't
trouble.
know that's what you think.
Okay,
yeah, that's what.
All right, that's what we heard.
The way we're designing it now, my understanding is it's going through the athletic department. It's going to be based on TV money. So the TV money is fixing to be funding the NIL with the way it's fixing to go, and it's a lot of money, folks.
How much influence over that athletic department do these billionaires have? A lot.
Maybe not as much when the TV money comes in, but here's my fear. The TV money is going to equalize it, they think. It's still not going to stop that millionaire. You're just going to have him on top of the TV money, to me.
Mm-hmm. How long before college football is like racing? And we weren't out there with advertisements all over our jerseys.
Yeah. Oh, I could see that coming.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
that's a good point.
Sticker on the
jersey now.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, I could see
that
happen.
Yeah.
That wouldn't surprise me at all.
Guys, we could go all day on this, but we need to shift gears and get to the NFL.
Let's get to some NFL.
Let's do the last college game before we do the NFL, because we're talking NIL.
Last college game.
Our playoff game Monday night.
Oh, that one.
And I got the Todd Bobo line.
You do.
I have the
what
official
is the
Todd Bobo line.
What is it?
Ohio State is favored by 8.5. Let's talk NIL here, buddy.
David said we wasn't going to talk about that.
No, we're not going to talk about that. It's embarrassing.
It is embarrassing.
Our bowl picks is like,
and here,
if we could have.
Let me tell you guys, you're listening. When I make my pick of who's going to win Friday night, or what night ever they play Monday night, take the other team.
Yeah. So let's go with you first.
Yeah, well, this is the other team.
Ohio State is the best team running by.
Yes. Well, that's a fact, and they're playing it like it.
And now they're playing like it.
And now they're playing like it. And go back to it. Best thing happened to Ohio State, lost to Michigan.
Yeah.
And they heard about it.
And that pride stuck in. And the best thing ever happened, pride.
Yeah, and Tennessee caught the brunt of that.
Yeah. You hear Coach Saban said, best thing that happened to your team every now and then is a loss.
Yeah.
And then actually Oregon then caught the brunt, but Texas had a chance to win that game. It's 21-14. first and goal at the 2, and you run a sweep.
That
And
may have
lose
been
6-7
the
yards.
best two teams left.
Yeah.
Well, that may have been.
Now, the only advantage I see Notre Dame having is I think they have an advantage at that coaching position because I think they have a better head coach, and I think special teams. Other than that, I think it's Ohio State.
I'll just say this: these are the two teams that's playing the best ball right now.
All right, so who you picking? Kenny?
They played the best ball. Ohio State
Just outright winning, right?
Oh yeah.
Not just don't pay attention. Just pick who's
I
winning.
don't never look
Okay.
at that spread.
All right, Ohio State.
That don't bother
Jason,
me.
who you pick?
I think Ohio State.
I'll go Ohio State.
Ohio State to cover, and the line couldn't be high enough. I think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's a blowout.
I think it's a close game.
I do not.
And I will say this: I don't think Ryan Day is a bad coach.
No, I don't think he's a bad coach.
I
But
don't
this
think
guy at Notre Dame is special.
I do think
Some of those things he does on
Yeah.
special teams, and
Yeah.
watch the he is a special
great
coach.
coordinator.
But here's the thing:
Yes.
you're not going to be able to trick them on special teams. Now you used that last
He
week
did.
Yeah.
to get to this one, so all that stuff, there people going to be on alert. But he's done a good job,
He
and
sure has.
I like him too.
I do
He's
too. I think
he's
I
a
like
good
him.
Christian man.
Well,
I
I
think
tell
he's a
you
good
who I
guy.
like as a player. 4 on Ohio State is impressive as a
Oh,
freshman. He's what,
Yeah,
18
yeah.
years old,
Mm-hmm.
and he is showing out.
If he could come out right now, he might be the number one pick.
Yes, he
draft.
would.
Right, I agree with
He
you. I
would.
think
I
he'd
would
be
pick
number
I
one
don't know
draft.
that he'd be over Hunter.
I don't
I
know.
think the boy from Hunter.
Well, the kid's 6'4" and weighs about 220. Can run faster than anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just unreal what his physicality is.
Well, you know what's
And-
happened to him? Guy in the press box up there calling plays by the name of Kelly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's
He
dialing him
knows-
up.
He knows
Yeah.
how to.
There's your
they
guy
know-
that got tired of being a head coach
they
in the
know how to
NIL world,
do it.
didn't
Yep, and got tired of it and making money and doing what he enjoys doing. I'm gonna tell you,
he? Play
I've been a
calling.
head coach. I've been an assistant coach. Coaching is a whole lot more fun when you're an assistant than it is when you're a head. It's,
guys,
it's fun.
Let's shift gears here. We're picking Ohio State.
Yep.
Let's shift to the NFL. But before
Right.
we do, let's hear from our sponsors one more time. Kincaid
Service.
Company.
and First Bank here in Shelbyville. We'll be right back.
Kincaid Service Company is a locally owned family business that has proudly served the Middle Tennessee area since 1934. We have a wide selection of furniture, appliances, electronics, and mattresses for every budget and design taste. We carry the brands that you know and trust, so you're sure to find exactly what you're looking for. Need financing? We have you covered. With our service department, you can rest assured that we will take care of you after the purchase. Visit our Shelbyville store at 400 Madison Street.
All over it.
All right, shifting gears. NFL. Guys, we got some good matchups coming up this weekend.
Got football today.
And it's your favorite matchup weekend.
My favorite weekend of the whole year.
Why is that?
Divisional round, you got the 4 games, and now you get the good teams stuck in there. It's just nothing better. This and March Madness are my 2 favorite.
Okay.
weekends.
All right, so this is
Hey,
it.
and these guys are playing to
Yeah,
win.
this is it.
Okay,
They're
NFC,
playing.
AFC Championship, you're let down when you go into that. Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
Right,
All right,
yeah.
okay. All right. So we're going
you
to
only get 2 games then.
That's right.
That
That's
All
right.
right.
And then you're starting to see the end is coming.
yes.
Oh, yeah,
That's
it's almost
sad, isn't it?
depressing.
It's sad.
It's
But
depressing.
guys, this UFL.
Can't do it.
Can't do it. All right.
Yeah.
All right, today, Mr. Boyette, 3:30 today, you got the Texans at the Chiefs, the official Todd Bobo line. Texans getting 8.5. We
Yep.
see.
I'll go Chiefs 27-17. Chiefs are 8-0 at home, 2-time champs, best quarterback in the world.
Yeah.
Probably the best coach.
Yep.
Hard to bet against the Chiefs.
Do not bet against Andy Reid ever.
I'm not betting against Andy Reid.
No, I'm not either. I agree with you. I want to go with the Chiefs. And I think here that you're going to see, as good as the Texans played last week, they got a lot of turnovers. They played really well.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see the Chiefs defense get after Mr. Stroud, and he's going to make some mistakes in this game, and I don't think it's close.
They did play really well last week.
They did.
looked great against the Chargers.
They sure did. And they got a
Yeah,
bunch of
but
turnovers, played great on defense, and
But I just
D'Amico
don't-
Ryans has
I
done a
don't-
heck of a job
Yeah,
coaching.
I don't think they got it.
Well, what's that line? 8.5?
8.5.
I think that's pretty close to where it's going to
Vegas
be.
is always pretty right.
Yeah,
I think
they're
it's going to be pretty close.
They know what they're talking about.
It's
But-
hard. It's hard. It's
I-
hard to go with the cheeseburger.
Guys, I
coach.
think this is another
Yeah.
Kansas City year for us. I think they go all the way.
I don't think they'll go
You
all
don't
the way.
think
I
they'll go
think
all
they'll
the way?
win this week, get beat
Well,
next week.
if they go all the way,
Not betting
I'm
against Andy
thinking
Reid.
Andy
I'm
Reid.
listening.
I'm thinking Andy Reid.
Me too.
I've learned my lesson. I'm not betting
against
against
him
Andy
every
Reid
year, I'm not
anymore.
betting
Nope.
against him.
And this is my theory. I told Bill yesterday. I think Andy Reid retires after he wins the Super Bowl this year, and that's tied to the general manager getting hired. But this is just my theory.
Assistant
We'll get
general
into
manager.
it.
Yeah, we'll
Assistant
get that in a
general
minute.
manager. We're gonna get to that in a minute. But I think Kansas City washes.
And
I
if
think
they
go
do
all
that,
the
does
way.
Kelsey retire with him?
Probably so.
I just don't think whoever wins this next game we're going to talk about, Kansas City can beat either one of them.
Okay. All right.
Let me say this: Andy Reid looks like he's having fun to me.
You know,
Andy
The
Reid
Nuggies, he's not retired. I don't think he's ready to
You
You don't
retire.
think he's going to
No.
retire? How old is Andy Reid?
I don't think it matters. I think the guy enjoys coaching, likes what he does, and as long as Mahomes
All right.
is there and it's there to win, why would you retire?
Well, the NFL will be a better place if he stays.
I agree.
Absolutely.
Don't
He's-
disagree
he's
with
and
that.
he's got a chance to go down here in history right up here with Belichick if he's not already there as one of the greatest ones ever.
Well, if they do go to the Super Bowl, I'd love to see them play the Eagles, just because of that matchup and the connection.
oh yeah,
That
that'd
would
be
be good.
fun. Yeah.
Well, your game tonight's at 7:15. It's on Fox, and it's our good friend, the Command Skins of Washington, at the Lions. And the line, Todd Bobo line, is 9.5. I love the Lions. I love Dan Campbell
And they're playing.
in Detroit.
Okay, y'all are quiet all of a sudden. Are you?
My son will kill me, but I like Detroit.
Yeah.
I like Detroit close, but if I was going to pick one upset this week,
This is it.
Commanders have won 6 straight games.
Man.
They're hot.
I just like
Jaden Daniels is playing with house money right now.
Jaden Daniels is awesome.
Jaden
I
Daniels is
just
really
like
good.
Campbell, the coach.
I do too.
You know,
I like the way he coaches, but I'm sorry, my Packers are in that same division. But I'll be rooting for the Redskins.
The Redskins.
The Redskins.
Okay.
I'll be rooting for Washington.
Well,
I'll be rooting for the Lions.
I'll be rooting for Washington.
I love the Lions story. I also love
Yeah.
the Redskins story.
Oh, I do too.
I mean, I like this matchup. I'm kind of leaning with you. I like them in an upset here. And I
Don't
don't know why. It's
underestimate
just a
Montgomery
good.
coming back at running
Yeah, that's
back.
true. But
Commanders
Yeah.
only have 6 days rest. Lions have 14.
Right.
But
That's a big
I
difference.
don't know that the rest is all that, and the Lions defense and the defensive coordinator schemed up some really good stuff, but you can only do that so many times. I think
The Lions win a close one.
I don't
think
think the
Washington-
Redskins can keep up with scoring with the Lions. The Lions
here's
are
my
going to score
question.
40. They're going to score over 40 probably.
I think that the Command Skins have an opportunity to have long drives because of Jaden Daniels getting those
dude.
third downs when he
That
has
dude.
to.
Detroit's
He's a player.
defense they're hurt.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
something, and we'll get to the Eagles here in a minute, but I'm going to go back to the game that I watched a couple of weeks ago where Jalen Hurts gets the concussion.
Mhm.
They are pounding the Command Skins. It's 14-0, and Philly's fixing to go in and go up 3 scores, and Hurts gets the concussion. The game gets close with different quarterbacks, and Daniels comes back at the end and wins it. My fear is that Redskins, Command Skins do not have the defense to handle Detroit in that running game. I don't think they can stop
Maybe
They
not.
do get
Just
Montgomery
like-
back. Montgomery is back. for the
Montgomery's
Lions.
back,
Yeah.
Gibbs is back, and
I
then
think the Lions
Goff
will
has
win.
been phenomenal
Yeah.
throwing the football.
Well, I tell you, I think they're fantastic offensively, but it gets back to having all those holes on defense. And
Yes.
you know Washington is going to try to slow this game
Washington's
down
gonna
and
score.
stay on that
And I
field
don't
and,
think
and
Washington can
dominate
run the
time of
football
possession.
like Detroit.
And look, I
That's it.
love Dan Campbell. I think
Yeah.
the players love him, but he always does something during the game that I shake my head about.
Go for
He
it.
goes
and
for
they're
it.
like,
He
hey,
does
those-
go for it.
And that's in the
those
game
crazy-
plan. That's
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Hey, and that's in the game. If you're Washington, if you're the Redskins, you better know that he ain't punting on
Yeah.
fourth down. So his third down, his second down is really a first down. His third down is really a second down because he's going for it.
Well, if you make a bad mistake in the playoffs, it gets magnified.
It does.
does.
It does.
You're right.
But if you make a good one, it gets
Yeah.
magnified too.
There's
All
also
right.
a player for Detroit that sticks out to me. He's an Alabama guy, Jamison Williamson, that you never heard anything from, and he's had a heck of a year this year. Finally, that first-round talent's coming out.
Yeah, he
Amon
is.
St. Brown,
Well,
the
it's finally
great
healthy.
tight end.
Yeah.
Hey, I will say this: Jameson Williams, an Alabama guy for 1 year. He came from Ohio State.
He was
a
great at
transfer
Alabama that 1 year. He's
Yeah,
awesome.
he was. He's great. He's there too.
Well, the one from Bama that's good, there's Gibbs.
Oh,
Gibbs
gosh,
is great.
man.
He's
He's
good.
good.
Good play.
And here's the thing, Montgomery coming back, is he going to be 100%, even though they say he's 100%,
I don't think he has
compared to what
be.
he was?
I don't think he has to be. Gibbs is your main guy. You just need Montgomery to come in and give you a third and one.
You remember when Detroit drafted Gibbs in the seventh, in the last, and everybody was ridiculing them on that draft pick, how horrible it was.
I thought that was a steal. I watched him at Alabama.
Yeah, but everybody, all these people,
they already had a running back. That's what they got a running back.
How that was what were they thinking? Hey, whatever helps your team is the draft pick you need to get.
He is another Alvin Kamara.
He is. He can play.
All right, what else we got?
All right, tomorrow, 2 p.m.
Good games on tomorrow.
NBC, the Rams at the Eagles, and the Todd Bobo line is the Rams getting 6.
And they'll need all 6 of them.
Yeah, they sure will.
Yeah.
Because they played in week 4, guys. Saquon Barkley put up a team record in rushing against them. What was it, 186 yards or something, 200-something yards. They ran the ball all over the Rams. The Rams' defense is really good against the pass. They showed that against Darnold. What do the Eagles do? What's their bread and butter? They can throw it when AJ isn't reading the book.
Yeah.
I mean, when AJ didn't want his stats.
Did you go buy that book this week? Did you buy that book?
Well, he's a powder. He's Terrell Owens made over, and I'm not an AJ Brown fan. I'm not a fan.
We got low 30s and snow.
That's going to be and favors the team running the football. And Saquon Barkley, you could still make the argument, is the MVP of this league, and probably would have gotten that record if they would have let him.
The Eagles.
Eagles, let me tell you right now, are physical.
Yeah.
Offensively and defensively, they are physical. It's going to be -3. It's going to be snow. I like Eagles.
And the Rams are playing 1 day shorter rest, and they have to travel across the country and 3 time zones.
Man.
He's ready. He's ready.
Hey, impressive.
Yeah,
I'll
go with the Eagles, too. Although the Rams did play better than them last week.
Right, but in week 4, the Eagles
pounded them at home, too.
Yeah, that's right.
The Eagles pounded them in week 4.
They were playing in nice warm weather.
In the warm weather.
Yeah, not 30 degrees. Yeah.
All right.
I'll go the Eagles, too.
Okay.
All right, your last game, and this is the game of the year so far. The Ravens at the Bills. The line's up to the Ravens -1.5, favored at the Bills by 1.5.
All right, you got a weather report on that.
Ravens are
Buffalo,
favored.
it's teens.
Teens, snow, no snow.
No, not snow. What I saw was 20% chance, but
okay.
It's going to be really cold.
17, 18 degrees.
I'm hard to believe that it ain't snowing in Buffalo.
And it could always snow in Buffalo. Yeah.
Can you say Derrick Henry? I think he's going to have a big game in this one.
If the Ravens come out in that front they did to Pittsburgh with 6 offensive linemen, 2 tight ends, Buffalo can't stop that. Cannot stop Derrick Henry with the extra lineman and the 2 tight end set. And the 2 tight end set is Likely and Andrews, who can also catch him.
There's somebody back there that helps Derrick Henry a little bit too.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
he's got
Derrick Henry and let that other little slippery slide.
Yeah, between the two of them, he'll keep them honest.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I just think Derrick Henry has 150 yards.
And I'm going to tell you right now, Lamar is throwing the ball better than I've seen him throw it. Because they got a tight end, Andrews, and they've lost their good receiver, Flowers. But
that was my question mark. Is Zay Flowers playing?
He won't play.
I doubt it. No.
Doesn't sound like he's.
No.
All right, Jason.
Which is why I'm going with the Bills.
All right.
27-24 because I don't think Zay Flowers plays.
And the thing about Buffalo, people forget, is since Joe Brady came in as offensive coordinator, look at how they run the football now. This Cook guy had 18 touchdowns this year, the running back for the Buffalo Bills. Their running game is really good, too.
Yeah,
in fact, they've got 3 running backs.
You got Cook and Josh Allen.
And you got Josh Allen can run the football. The difference to me, though, is defensively, the Ravens have gotten so much better from where they were mid-season.
Oh, yeah.
Hard to bet against the Bills at home, though. It's kind of like a Chiefs.
I agree with you on that one.
Guys, I'm just sitting here looking at these brackets. I like every one of these teams.
I do, too.
You're supposed to.
I mean,
that's why it's the divisional. That's why it's
but there's sometimes I look up and half the teams I'm like, I hope they get beat. But I don't see that here. I'm pulling for all of them. Yeah. I mean, really.
A true Bobo answer. Very well.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Ride that fence.
But the Commanders, you look at them. You know, you got to love that story.
Yeah.
Look at the Rams. They were dead, and they came back alive, and they fought, and they've got back in it, and here they are. Yeah. The Ravens, the story with Derrick Henry and him resurrecting up there.
Lamar Jackson.
And then Bills, you gotta be glad for Josh Allen with the year he's had and the way they've started running the ball and the way they're playing. And then the Chiefs and the Texans.
Well,
I mean,
look at these games. You got the Bills and the Ravens. You got 2 guys there talking about MVP.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You got the Philly with Barkley MVP, and you forget about what you got out there at Kansas City with Mahomes
Right.
MVPs.
Yeah.
Maybe not this
Yeah.
year, but I mean this is good football,
Yeah,
and this is they are wanting to play. This is where the pride. Last week was one thing. The pride in those big guys comes out divisional round.
Oh yeah, it does. I mean, this is for all the marbles they know, and they lay it all on the field. That's what's so fun about playoff football. It's a different level.
It's a different.
And guys, I think we need to sit down and have the same conversation next week. Are you up for it?
I'll do it.
We need your expertise
Absolutely.
and your homework, man. The research is impressive. I mean, he walks in here with
we're
notes.
running long on time,
Yeah.
but we need to spend some time next week, especially after I don't know if we're going to this week. Titans got their new GM. What are they going to do?
Right.
Well, I'll touch on it just real quick. The Titans, as everybody knows, we'll talk into it later. They got the number 1 pick in the draft, 3-14. They fired the general manager, Rand Carthon. They kept the coach. I'm shocked the Titans didn't go with Chad Brinker's buddy, the Sullivan guy from Green Bay. Everything I heard, that's who the Titans were hiring. It was a done deal.
I thought that's where they'd go to.
And instead, they hired Mike Bergonzi, the assistant GM with the Chiefs, been there 16 years. To me, home run hire. But I am going to bring something up that was interesting. I sent it to David Thomas. I think I sent it to Jason Boyette. Go read this article. It's on Titansized, SIZED.com. Read this article by Max Greenberg, and it's pinpointing when the Titans became a dysfunctional franchise, and I thought it was one of the best reads I've ever read.
Man, it brings back a lot of stuff you forgot.
Well,
you forgot. I forgot that happened. That's.
I will send it to you.
It's an awesome article. I was impressed with whoever put that story together. I don't know who it was, but
Max Greenberg, whoever that is, and it
shows
you how poorly we've done since 2016 with drafts.
I think it shows you where your problem lies,
and maybe how the owner at times gets a little meddlesome and a little too quick to pull the trigger on.
But it is what it is. We got to live with it as fans, and it's tough.
But is anybody surprised Bergonzi takes this job? I was shocked. So this
maybe he wants a challenge.
I think it must be more of a real GM job or a guy like this.
Yeah, I was going to say, because the Brinker guy would make me nervous a little bit.
I thought he was the one calling the shots. I don't leave Kansas City in a great situation to come here. I've got a feeling Bergonzi's going to be the one calling the shots, or he wouldn't have took the job.
Well, I hope he does.
I think here's the deal. I don't think, the GM is going to call shots, but if he don't work with the head coach. If they don't work together and mesh together,
it's
because
tough.
The head coach molds his team with the kind of players that he needs.
Right.
The general manager and the head coach need to work together. They've got to be cohesive.
Well,
and
for argument's sake, let's say
if they don't, it's tough.
Yeah. Let's say I'm Callahan, and let's say you're a coach that likes more of a mobile quarterback. Okay, you're the GM. You come in. Well, I want Sador. Let's just say we're going to take Sanders or the other kid from Miami, right? So he's the general manager. I'm Callahan. Sador fits my system better. So I'm like, man, this is who I want. Well, if Kenny's the coach, he wants the kid from Miami. It's a little more mobile.
Kenny's the coach that wants to trade because we're more than one player.
But my point is,
we need a wholesale.
Your head coach here he's coaching for his life last year. You didn't get rid of him. He's coaching for his life this year.
He's a lame duck coach.
He's a lame duck coach.
He's a lame duck coach.
Let's just say he's on the hot seat, but he knew he's going to be on it. I don't care who you would have hired. You can go out and you can bring Andy Reid to the Titans this last year, and they're not going to be much better than they were.
And it's more about the Jimmies and the Joes.
He didn't have the Jimmies and the Joes.
And how much
until you get them? You're not going to have him.
How much did the drafting of Will Levis have to do with Rand Carthon being fired?
A lot.
I think so too. The more I thought about it, I think that had a lot to do with he missed on him.
All right, guys, we're running out of time. We're going to continue this conversation next week.
Sounds fun.
And if our guests will come back next week, we love the homework here. It's impressive.
It's good stuff.
All right, guys, thanks for watching.
Not to mention the hair product.
Thank you for being
back. The hair product is fantastic.
Outstanding.
Glad to be back. Missed you guys.
We miss being here. It's a lot of fun.
Duke Cannon.
Yeah.
Sold right here at the store.
Yeah. That's right.
There's your plug.
What kind
there
of
you
soap?
go. Big soap.
Yeah.
Big soap.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll be back next week to continue this conversation about the Titans and talk about Bedford County sports, college sports, and pro football.
Yep.
All right. Thanks for First Bank as a sponsor. We thank you guys for being one of our longtime sponsors, and also Kincaid
Service
Company.
See you next week.